It's time for Wisconsin race fans to gather round. Welcome to the Racing Roundup Show. Thanks for joining us for our 41st consecutive season. We are your destination for news and interviews from NASCAR, the Upper Midwest, and within the Wisconsin racing scene. The Racing Roundup Show is America's longest-running weekly motorsports show held in front of a live audience. You still have time to join the racing crowd for tonight's show. And now, here is the host of the Racing Roundup Show, Jim Trado.
Hey gang, how are you? Thanks for joining us on a Tuesday night here at Polly's Pub and Eatery, 81st and Greenfield. We're hanging out with you in West Dallas, and wouldn't you know, we got a great show again tonight for you. Last week we had Mark Martin on the show. He was the honorary Grand Marshal of the races this past weekend in Madison at the Joe Shear Classic. It was awesome to spend time with Mark on this show and at the racetrack. Hope you had a chance to attend. It was a wonderful day. We have a full recap for you of the Joe Shear Classic with our Bill Holland, who went in the groove all day Sunday, while Dean and I got to call the races on Track TV. A quick note, we're going to have a lot of fun tonight. Alan Kowicki grew up less than 2 miles from where we are right now at 81st and Greenfield, and we have a special treat for you guys tonight. We have some unique items from Alan's racing days to share with you tonight that will be on display real soon at the Southeastern Wisconsin Short Track Hall of Fame. John Jeffers is here, Marilyn Mee is here, and we'll be talking to our first show guest to take us through some of that collection, and it's really cool to see that. And adding to the accoutrement is the models that our friend Max Wisniewski has made from scratch of a couple of Alan's first race cars you raced at Hills Corner Speedway. That's kind of cool to kind of add the flavor of the night as we talk about Alan and a collection that's going in the Kowicki Corner at the Hall of Fame in Hartford. We have Monster Jam Cam on tonight. Camden Murphy's in Florida right now. He'll join us as a monster truck driver that travels the world. We'll talk to Camden, who's from Itasca, Illinois. We've had Cam on the show, I think, every year since he was racing Bandoleros pretty much. He is now a full-time Monster Jam driver, former Rookie of the Year in the Monster Jam's trucks. So we'll talk to Monster Jam Cam on the show. Looking forward to that. Our annual visit. If not, we get him on again. When maybe he comes around the area, we'll find out what his schedule is as he races monster trucks across the globe. Father-daughter racers, Lance and Lily Fossbender are scheduled to be on the program as well. And we're going to get up to speed with the Plymouth Dirt Track tonight. We got a nice segment planned with Kurt Davis, who's won a bunch of races there and a bunch of championships. And Bill Waniga is going to join us as well. And Bill Waniga and Dave are here tonight. We're going to talk to them about Plymouth Dirt Track and all the cool things that happen on Saturday nights. And this coming Saturday is a big race. They're running the late models in only 6 times a year. It's going to start up this coming Saturday, May 10th, at the Plymouth Dirt Track. We'll talk to them about their great season ahead. You can catch our show on Facebook Live on our website, racingroundupshow.com. You can watch on demand on our YouTube channel. Search Racing Roundup. It's easy to find. Hit the like and subscribe buttons. Watch our show and share the show with your friends. You're also welcome to join us. We always do our show in front of a live audience on Tuesdays. Come on down and join the racing crowd. We're live from Polly's Pub and Eatery, 81st and Greenfield in West Dallas, and we'll be right back.
Thanks for tuning in to the Racing Roundup Show. Check out our website, racingroundupshow.com, and like our show on Facebook. Join us on Twitter and Instagram at Racing Roundup. We're coming right back after these messages from our awesome show sponsors.
Add value and beauty to your home or commercial property with professional landscaping from Central Services Company, Incorporated. The team at Central Services is their personal choice of over 45 years of satisfied customers in Southeast Wisconsin for landscape design, construction, and grounds maintenance. Call Central Services at 262-548-0005 for all your landscaping and lawn care needs. No job is too large or too small. From lawn fertilization and weed control to award-winning landscape construction and building your backyard patio oasis, Central Services is your full-service landscape company. Call the experts at Central Services at 262-548-0005 for a free, no-obligation consultation at your home or business. Find out why Central Services can provide you with the visual difference in the art of landscaping and lawn care. Call 262-548-0005. Central Services, the visual difference in landscaping.
Angler's Bar and Grill and Campground is your destination for relaxation and fun. There's a full-service bar and restaurant with 54 campsites with full hookups, all less than a mile from the beautiful Wolf River. It's where the locals go in Fremont, Wisconsin. It's also home to the Midwest Mower Racing Club. All roads lead to Angler's Bar and Grill and Campground in Fremont, Wisconsin. Visit their Facebook page for live entertainment and lawnmower racing schedules. Angler's Bar and Grill and Campground.
Interstate Batteries. Outrageously dependable. Life is full of questions. Is the presentation ready for work tomorrow? Why is there so much traffic at 3 p.m. on a Tuesday? Are your in-laws visiting this weekend or next? You've got plenty of things to worry about. Whether your car will start shouldn't be one of them. With an outrageously dependable battery under your hood, you can cross one of those questions off your list, which gives you time to answer more things like,
Are we there yet?
Interstate Batteries, delivering the most trustworthy source of power to the world since 1952.
Jiffy Lube has locations across Wisconsin to serve you. Visit jiffylube.com to locate your store and to find the latest coupons and promotional offers. You're greeted by a friendly and knowledgeable staff. Grab a water or coffee and know you and your vehicle are in good hands. Windshield wipers, new tires, and alignments are a few of the many services offered. Jiffy Lube proudly features Pennzoil. There's a whole lot more than no appointment drive-up oil changes at Jiffy Lube. Welcome to personalized car care. Wisconsin race fans, find your store at jiffylube.com.
Like our show on Facebook and share our content with other race fans. We hope to see you at one of our upcoming shows too. Join racers, other race fans, and win prizes. Now let's get back to more of the Racing Roundup Show.
Welcome to the Racing Roundup Show. Glad to have you with us here on this occasion to celebrate, right? Our show's been on for 41 years. It started in 1985. That was the year that Alan Kowicki actually made his first NASCAR Cup Series start, September of 1985 at Richmond Raceway. He ran 5 races that fall. That's how long our show's been here. And there's a lot that happened with Alan's career before that and a lot that's happened since to make him a NASCAR champion and a NASCAR Hall of Famer. And joining us right now to celebrate some of Alan's history that we'll be able to see upcoming in Hartford at the Southeastern Wisconsin Short Track Hall of Fame. Let's welcome in John Jeffords and Marilyn Meade. Thanks for joining us on the Racing Roundup Show.
I'm so flattered to be included in this.
We have royalty. Honestly, John Jeffords and his sister Kelly and their dad John started the show. Terry Jeffords started the show with Darrell Dobbs and Dennis Arneska in 1985. It was their way to get into racetracks for free. But here we are talking about racing, and all the time, Alan was part of your family, John. You were a crew member for him at the early days. Marilyn, you dated him when you were Miss Slinger Speedway in the early days. Yeah. This is kind of cool. We get to hang out with you guys again, and we're going to get to see this on an ongoing basis at the Hall of Fame. This is pretty cool to have you here one time before it gets really busy.
Yeah, thank you. So where this all kicked off was in 2023, we held a celebration of life at UW Milwaukee.
We did our show there both nights. Friday night at the college, and then Saturday on April 1st thanks to Mark Goodman, we did it at Quickie Park.
So Marilyn brought out her memory box and showed she has some unique articles from dating Alan. She's Valentine's Day cards, birthday cards, Christmas cards. I got invited to go to the Milwaukee County Historical Society. They opened up their stuff for that we put on display, as you may recall. And slowly it came to my realization that this stuff all went back into closets. It went back into damp, dark basements after that event, and I thought this should be brought out in the open. Believe it or not, us Alan Kowicki fans are getting a little bit older.
Yeah.
A little bit older.
Speak for yourself, John.
So how can we get this out on display while there's still some fans who might want to see it?
So the Southeastern Wisconsin Short Track Hall of Fame has an area within a beautiful car memorabilia collection in Hartford. And in that corner, they have race cars. They have modifieds. They have different race cars. They've had John Safro's Alan Kowicki Hooters chassis number 007 from Alan's 1992 championship season. But this display will be featuring some of the things I think Marilyn said. Let's show this stuff off for a little bit, right?
Yeah, it's fun, and I think that it's always, and I know as somebody who's a fan of sports and as of rock music, it's I love being able to see the cars and see the things that made that person famous, but I think it's so interesting to be able to see little personal things, and see their handwriting, and like Alan was always notorious for making these to-do lists and just to and writing funny notes, and just to be able to see that, I think always kind of, whether it's rock person or a racing person, it kind of brings the humanity to them.
Marilyn's had decades-long a career in Milwaukee radio, legendary Wisconsin broadcaster, and you got a chance to be around a lot of famous people. But did you ever expect Alan, your buddy, you hung out with him, you were at the shop waiting for him to get done with work to maybe get a pizza without talking about racing for a minute? Did you ever imagine that he got to be that big, that famous?
I can tell you that I did believe that he would eventually get down south and drive for NASCAR. He was so driven and so focused, and it's all he wanted to do. And, and he's, it's as cliche as it kind of sounds, he's one of those people who was living proof that, you dedicate yourself to a dream, which, and his seems so completely outrageous and, just who would have thought, right?
Yeah.
But he was so driven and so focused and made so many sacrifices along the way that honestly, the times that I saw him on, watching it on TV, crossing the finish line in NASCAR races, that's what I figured would happen.
So the suit behind you is your suit, Marilyn, that Alan wore at Slinger Super Speedway. That will be on display at the Southeastern Wisconsin Short Track Hall of Fame. What time, what era was that suit, and how'd you get to hang on to it?
So that would have been, and you know what? I bet Kay Hendricks could probably fill me in.
Faye probably would, yep.
Faye could probably help me with this date. Whatever the year was that I was Miss Slinger Speedway, it was that following year that, oh my gosh, here we go. Wayne made a rule at Slinger that you had to wear a fire suit because everybody raced in jeans and T-shirts,
cotton T-shirts.
The Klotz oil cotton T-shirts for Alan.
Yes, whatever T-shirt you got for free, and so they made the rule that you had to have a racing suit, and so. And this was in the days before you could go online and find that kind of stuff. Well, I don't know, whoever he sent away to get the suit, I can promise you that was the least expensive suit that you could buy that would still pass whatever the rules were of wearing a fire suit. He was so mad about that, having to waste all that money on that. And it's hard to prove that, except that I know it's hard to prove that it was his because he was too cheap to even have his name put on it.
The embroidery was optional, and he's like, that's not optional. That costs money.
That's got to cost money.
Right.
He was mad to begin with that he had to even wear the thing. Which is kind of funny when you think here's a guy who wants to become a professional full-time race car driver, and no, he was happier wearing his jeans and T-shirt.
And John, you were a crew guy during that era as well, working with the WLPX paint scheme. Your dad was the promotional genius behind all that, but in reality, you got down to business. You guys had to work hard because Alan demanded a lot of himself and of the crew. How many nights a week were you working on his car then already?
Oh, boy. So LPX started in 78 was the first summer. Alan got the sponsorship. So I still recall going to the South 13th Street garage. I was the first one there. No one was there yet. Opened the door.
I still have dreams about that place. Seriously.
And there were two dark red, tomato red cars parked, neatly. And my eyes adjusted, and there it was in front of me. You can see it down there, the WLPX livery, 97 FM.
That's a real door, by the way. That is the real. Will that be at the Hall of Fame?
Yes.
All right.
You bet.
The red door of Alan Quickly's car that you saw the first time going in the shop is here today at the show, and will be on the display.
I'm in high school, and I'm thinking, what am I doing here? Just don't make a mistake. Don't make a mistake. And even more importantly, don't make Alan angry.
Don't get yelled at.
But the good news was if he didn't like how you were doing something, he would just knock you out of the way. And now I would get to watch how the right way to do it. And being so green, that really, you can imagine, that upset a few of the senior guys. Don't show me how to do a simple task. I know how to do this. Let me do it. But I didn't mind being the rookie, as I call myself. I was the assistant gopher, second class. Yes, show me how to do this. I don't want to be the reason why you hit the wall in turn one on the green flag. So I didn't mind the mentorship. I will say that the nights that Merrill, this is true, the nights that you were there and Lampman,
Jimmy Lampman.
Dennis Lampman.
Dennis and Jimmy.
Dennis.
Both the Lampmans.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dennis and Jimmy.
I've crewed for runoffs winning teams at SCCA. I tell you what, the coordination, the organization, the teamwork, I haven't seen it equaled since those days with you, with Lampman's at South 13th Street. It just was when it worked. The work flowed, everything got done. I'll remember when we went up to Cayuga, someone told us we had to document all of the main contents of the van.
To cross the border, yeah.
To cross the border.
Oh, yeah.
One Saturday, I drive in one Saturday. There's Marilyn. She comes out of the van with her clipboard. She is saturated in sweat. This was not a parsley, what would you call it, centerpiece looking pretty.
Yeah.
You were drenched. Documenting
Counting plug wires. How many spark plugs? Yeah.
Loctite, blue,
Yeah,
8
right.
ounces.
Yeah.
Loctite, green.
Yeah.
Yes, and I did. That
Yeah.
was, and I mean, some of those memories are really great. Some of them not so great. Some of them really funny. Some of them, in hindsight, kind of pathetic and sad. But I never sat around as the, well, I think now I'm going to work on my homework, or now I'm going to do that. No, there was no filing of nails there. It was work. It was really hard work. I mean, granted, he would give me some of the easier jobs to do, the, like run down to Lampman's and get something, go here and get something, the gopher stuff, go pick up lunch or whatever. But yeah, for the most part, I mean, I have to, and I don't think I've ever talked about this before. I can remember a time, Alan being the miser he was, of course, you couldn't go buy a parts washer. We can make a parts washer. So he made this parts washer, and then the stuff that you put in, the solvent.
Yep.
Well, so this parts washer was kind of still jimmy rigged. I don't think it was completely done yet, and it was during the summer, and so I had on just like really lightweight pants and t-shirt. I somehow managed to we were trying to do something with that parts washer, check something. I soaked myself with solvent from like my shoulders down to my knees.
Yeah.
I mean, soaked with solvent. And I still remember, thank God nobody else was there, but it was just me. It must have been like early Saturday morning or something. But I still remember standing in the middle of that garage crying. It hurt so much, and I'm standing there. He's spraying me with the garden hose and trying to get the solvent off, and and I have a vague recollection of him laughing about it. But I remember being in tears.
And we have the fun pleasure of having this show now for 41 years tell these stories. You can find out more about seeing these stories in real form when it comes to the display items at the Southeastern Wisconsin Short Track Hall of Fame. June 1, maybe even sooner. You can check that out in Hartford. John Jeffords, Marilyn Mead, thank you for joining us here on the Racing Roundup Show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, that was it for TV. Now we got to talk about some serious things.
All right.
What else did you bring along, John?
Oh, boy. So, real quick, based on that celebration of life we had at UWM, I hope a lot of you were able to make it. I got invited to be on the KDDP governing board. I acted as treasurer and secretary with that, and then also on the voting committee. Thumper, you've probably met.
Yep. He was here a couple weeks ago.
Yep. So had a really good time. Enjoyed my time there, but lot.
And John, can we give a quick shout out to the school of
Yes.
the engineering school and the Department of Math and Sciences at UWM.
UWM has an engineering. They have a Koki garage there.
Yeah,
Yes.
and there's so much going on there as far as the scholarship thing and. It's just, and their display, their tribute to Alan is just absolutely stunning. And if you're ever at UWM, just to walk into that building, and and that was such an important part of Alan's background is having that education. That back in the 70s, he was a freak. He was the one working on his master's in engineering, and he was racing with guys who barely made it out of high school. No disrespect, plenty of great drivers, but it was. I think it's so awesome that John Jeffords volunteered to get involved with that and make you. I think it would just be very meaningful to Alan in a really personal way that that you got involved in that and that he is remembered at that school.
Yes.
Because it was so important to him.
Big time. And Jerry and Thelma did a lot there as well. They actually provided a scholarship at that school. They provided a scholarship at UNC Charlotte. They provided a scholarship that Kelsey Dasso actually had. Kelsey's now a track owner at Slinger Super Speedway. She was a scholarship recipient while going to college.
That's so
that
cool.
was really involving to do that.
Yeah.
You know about Kelsey's involvement there.
Right. She was a 2-time Kowicki Memorial Scholarship winner during her engineering studies at UWM.
He would be thrilled about that.
Yeah.
So quick to answer your question. So after helping out with the national KDDP, I saw some low-hanging fruit for some local Wisconsin-based.
Yep.
You know, let's keep Alan's, as Thelma had asked, let's keep her stepson's name and legacy alive. The folks with the KDD program, Ryan Zeck, Paul Andrews, Cal Lawson, they're doing a great job with the KDD program.
Yep.
I wanted to focus a little more on the southeastern Wisconsin-based activities. So that's why I've been negotiating so hard with Dick Melius and his people at the Short Track Hall of Fame to get a spot for Kowicki Corner, which is a hat tip to Jim Patterson.
Yeah, Solid Gold McDonald's.
From Solid Gold McDonald's.
Oh, my gosh.
He had the first Kowicki Corner.
Yep.
So that, like you say, I should have my display cabinets in place by June 1st and get that going. Maybe we'll have a grand opening, get back out to Hartford. Likewise, there's been at Kowicki Park, there's been the Cruisin' Car Show for many years now. That's coming up. I want to get a plug in for Saturday, May 24th.
So that's Memorial Day weekend Saturday. It's a traditional car show. There's a lot of people already know about it, but this is at Kowicki Park, and the pavilion will be open that day.
That's the key. Kowicki, or Brooks Pavilion at Kowicki Park will be open. The contents of that park were what Thelma donated from basically the contents of Alan's house. Came up from Concord.
And the Fun Run Walk that was put on at the mile that Terry Jeffords and Dennis Orneska and Kelly Jeffords, all part of getting that money raised, was going to the park to build it. There's a lot of people that got involved. Miller Brewing Company, the Brooks family. There are a lot of people that took a lot of time to raise money for the park.
Yeah, so here's your chance. 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Come for a free entry into Alan Kowicki Park. And then one more I'll mention since Marilyn's next to me here.
Yep.
Once again, Slinger Speedway is having their AK Memorial AK 77 race August 24th. And they throw in, as you probably know, a couple of other side attractions, if you will. They have alumni, champions, et cetera, But this year, they're having every fifth year, they have a Miss Slinger reunion.
Ooh.
So if you know anyone who is former Miss Slinger.
I bet you I'll be the oldest one there.
Marilyn Me was Miss Slinger Speedway, and I know you were there on a night where Faye Hendricks has pictures to prove it.
Yes.
Other Miss Slingers joined you. That was kind of cool to see that, and hopefully you're available on August 24th.
Oh yeah, I will make sure I am available on that
Kowicki
day.
night is really cool. I was there for the first one. It was emotional. It still is emotional for anybody to win that race or any division that night. Taking that Kowicki Polish victory lap is something special to see.
I'll tell you, when I sat down up here, I had to bite back tears when I saw the number 32 car that you have, the models that we have up here, because that was the car that Alan was driving that summer that I was Miss Slinger Super Speedway when I met him.
Okay.
And my brother, rest his soul, my brother passed away a couple of years ago, but Donnie was racing at the same time, and we used to laugh over the years, and Donnie would always tell the story about how, my brother, he was kind of more of like a semi-feature guy, he loved racing, and he's a good driver, but, he wasn't up in the league, the Al Shills and of the track,
Strupp.
But so Alan really, Donnie was never going to do anything for my brother. So Alan just never talked to him, He never had anything to do with him. What do you care, right? Well, Alan, and this is so typical Alan, suddenly that summer, Alan suddenly being real nice to my brother.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. What was
Hi,
that?
Don. How you doing? Yeah, because that was the summer I started coming out racing.
Because you were there, not because you wanted to know anything about Donnie. He wanted to know about you.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
All of a sudden, Alan was real nice to my Don, how you doing? Yeah. Yeah, because that was just Alan's way. He would not waste the 10 seconds talking to somebody wasn't going to do them any good.
The purpose
you know?
was always an intent.
Everything
Yeah.
had a purpose.
Yep.
Everything.
Yep. John, you brought this Max Cards. This is at the height of collectible cards. This is from the Max Card Company. They actually sponsored the NASCAR Cup Rookie of the Year program for several years. But this big bound in the plastic still is going to be on display. What's so special about that, John?
So this was loaned to me by the Milwaukee County Historical Society. You can see there they have their archival number on here. It came out of Alan's home, again, with our goal to be, let's show something Alan had in the closet.
Yep.
What's kind of fun on here, and I'll let you, maybe, I don't know if the camera can see this, but they gold, what's it called? Gold foiled
Yep.
a serial number, embossed.
Yes.
It's a limited edition, and it's number 0007 as the
Wow.
as edition, the 5th anniversary edition. So literally, cards from 1988 to 92 that are worth something are all in that bound box that they gave to Alan as a gift.
Yeah, and he never opened it.
Yep.
It sat in his closet. It was special. Somebody hung out on the assembly line waiting for number 7 to come across the printer.
Yeah.
And they gifted it directly to Alan. So kind of
Wow.
cool.
That is very
And you brought
cool.
some special items as well that we have copies of. I don't know if you know this, but this design was by Stan Johnson of Alan's Hooters paint job. It was designed on, I think, on a Thursday, and Alan had to get it by Saturday morning or some crazy idea, shipped to him to have a meeting in Atlanta with Mr. Brooks. That happened. And we also have this design of the Xerox paint scheme. Did Stan design that one too?
He did as well.
We're going to have Stan on the show on March 20th. May 20th. We're going to have Stan on the show. He was actually part of our Quickie Park show on April 1st, 2023. He brought some cool drawings, so hopefully Stan can talk us again about that. But we'll have some of those. We'll give those away tonight. We'll also have some for Stan to autograph for you if you come to our show on May 20th here at Pauley's.
Yeah.
And you got some neat things like handwritten notes from Alan you're going to put in the display as well.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Well, a lot of that came out of Maryland's memory box, handwritten notes. Some we can display publicly, others that will have
Some
to go in the
probably not.
R-rated
Yeah.
section.
Yeah, he was big on leaving notes on my car when we were at UWM at the same time,
Yeah.
and so he would. I don't know how he did it, but he'd find my car, and and they were always, the ticket was always on those computer cards that they were used back in those days in the School of Engineering, Math, and Science, and so there's some
Handwritten notes to you on your windshield under the wiper.
I'm kind of a pack rat as it is, but
Thank
I'm
goodness.
so glad that I saved so
Yeah.
much of that.
We are too. You'll get to see a lot of it. Again, it's coming by June 1st to the Southeastern Wisconsin Short Track Hall of Fame. John is the curator of the display. Maryland's providing a bunch of cool stuff, and we can't thank you enough for spending some time. Great to see Kelly here once again, who is the original producer of this show. Terry was the guy in charge of stuff, but Kelly made it happen, so it's always good to see you
A
guys
lot of
here.
good stories from the Jeffords house
Oh,
with
my.
Alan.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, those we cannot tell on the show. I can tell you that.
Scrambled eggs. I'll leave it at
Yeah,
that.
scrambled eggs.
All right, that's the story to tell for another time. How about a big hand for John Jeffords and Marilyn Me for joining us here on the show. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for bringing the good stuff as well.
inviting me. Thank
Always
you.
fun. Great seeing you.
Good seeing you.
Same here, Marilyn. Thank you. We're coming right back with more on this edition of the Racing Roundup Show. We've got Plymouth Dirt Track was here. Bill Monaga's here with Kurt Davis. We're also talking to Lance and Lily Fossbender. We've got a great segment as well with Camden Murphy, who races monster trucks out of Itasca, Illinois, and Bill Holland's here with a complete recap of what's going on when it comes to when it comes to Madison's opener, the Joe Shear Classic. Dean Strauma's also here. He's going to deliver the Bonafide Security Solutions Short Track Report. Yeah, lots to come on this edition of the show. Stick around. We're live at Pauley's Pub and Eatery. We'll be right back after these words.
Join the racing crowd every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Central all season long. Share what you love about short track racing on our Facebook page and on Twitter and Instagram at Racing Roundup. We'll be right back with more of the Racing Roundup Show.
Get your whole family involved in affordable, competitive kart racing at Millwright Raceway in Dousman, Wisconsin, home of the Badger Kart Club. Walk the pit area, talk to racers, and check out the action from the grandstands. There's a play area for the kids and great food at the concession stand. Spectator admission is free. Badger Kart Club points racers and National Touring Series race on the challenging paved road course most Sundays from April through September. Badger Kart Club is well established and well respected. There's 15 classes and over 100 drivers racing every week. From ages 5 to 75, kart racing offers competition for generations of racers of all ages. Bring the kids and check out kart racing for yourself at one of America's finest kart tracks. This is where Alan Kowicki, Danica Patrick, Sam Mayer, and Josh Palicki got their start. Millwright Raceway is just south of I-94 in Dousman, 35 miles west of Milwaukee, and 45 miles east of Madison.
For all the latest information, directions, and race schedule, visit BadgerKartClub.com.
Adams Towing offers expert heavy-duty towing services for the entire state of Wisconsin from their Plover headquarters. Since 1961, 3 generations of heavy-duty towing specialists and racing supporters have provided towing, flatbed, and reload service, plus winching and upright, long boom service, truck starting, and cleanup. Adams Towing proudly sponsors Ryan Farrell's Super Late Model team. Put Adams Towing and their experienced team and their fleet of heavy-duty tow trucks and rollbacks to work for you. Call Adams Towing today at 715-344-3836.
427-1000 American Foundation. Cracks and leaks in your basement, have no fears. We've been fixing those things for over 60 years. Trust and dedication, that's American Foundation.
Call American right now for huge savings.
427-1000 American Foundation.
When we decided to get our crack leaky basement done, I am so glad we called American Foundation. It gave us a sense of confidence, and it gave us our basement back.
And it was the right choice.
Thank you very much. American Foundation Specialist has been fixing basements since 1947. Satisfied customers are the future at American. Call American for huge savings at
427-1000 American Foundation.
Precise Auto and Truck Accessories is your one-stop shop when it comes to adding style and functionality to your vehicles. Owner and late model racer Mike Grunberg has 15 years of experience installing window tinting, cat skin leather, seat heaters, and seat coolers. There's a million accessories available. Ladder racks, trailer hitches, detailing, remote starters, and more. Precise Auto and Truck Accessories in Wisconsin Dells is a WeatherTech Diamond dealer. Bring your vehicle to the trusted guy, Mike Grunberg at Precise Auto and Truck Accessories.
The Racing Roundup Show is dedicated to showcasing grassroots racers and national stars of our sport. If you're a fan of NASCAR, four-wheel, two-wheel, road racing, drag racing, or the short track scene, you are in the right place. Welcome back to the Racing Roundup Show.
This portion of our show is brought to you by BMRE Electric Carts in Random Lake. Icon bikes go 25 miles per hour and can go 40 miles between charges. And BMRE is now selling gas-powered golf carts, e-bikes, and scooters too in your choice of colors. Brad Miller is Wisconsin's only Icon gas and electric cart dealer. Check out their Facebook page, BMRE Electric Carts Company. After tonight's show, we'll have prize giveaways after the program to the audience here tonight at Paulie's Pub and Eatery, including bottles of Anderson's Pure Maple Syrup, tickets to Dells Raceway Park. I've got them right here in my hand, 4 of them, to an upcoming Saturday show at their NASCAR weekly races there. Tickets to the Plymouth Dirt Track. Got some hats and T-shirts from Kurt Davis. Thank you, Kurt, for bringing those as well. We have racing T-shirts, die-cast cars, racing hats, and collectibles from Greenfield Gallery on Facebook, where they're always buying a racing collections. That's a lot of fun. A lot of great things to give away after the show tonight from racers and other folks that want to support our show. So come on down and you can always win stuff after the program. It's time for the Interstate Batteries of Southeast Wisconsin NASCAR report. Interstate Batteries are outrageously dependable, are the #1 replacement battery in North America. Interstate is a founding sponsor of Joe Gibbs Racing in NASCAR. You can visit interstatebatteries.com to find a battery for every need at a dealer near you. They're a Texas-based company, so you bet Christopher Bell's cars were all sponsored by Interstate Batteries this past weekend. All 3 NASCAR National Series races at Texas Motor Speedway ended in overtime finishes. Joey Logano raced to victory and Sunday in the NASCAR Cup Series race for his first win of the year. He made the winning pass with 4 laps to go in regulation, then held off Ross Chastain's Chevy for his 37th Cup Series win, and Logano's first in 11 years at Texas. Ryan Blaney, 3rd. Kyle Larson, 4th, after leading a race-high 90 laps on 4 occasions. Legacy Motor Co. placed 5th and 8th with Eric Jones and John Hunter Nemechek, their best run together. Christopher Bell in the Interstate Batteries Toyota finished 9th. Seabell also raced the A-Main and the Interstate Batteries-sponsored high-limit sprint car that he's running for the 69K out of the Northeast, out of Pennsylvania. He ran that Thursday night at Texas Motor Speedway, made the A-Main. They raced Thursday and Saturday to high-limit there on the dirt track on the property. Those features were won by Brent Marks and Rico Abreu. Kyle Larson raced the victory on Saturday during the day at Texas in the Xfinity Series race, subbing for Connor Zilich in the Junior Motorsports number 88 Chevy. Larson had a commanding lead when a late caution came out. He pitted for fuel by crew chief Marty Lindley. That was his call, which placed Larson 7th on lap 194 restart behind the cars that stayed on older tires. Larson then grabbed the lead in the second overtime from Franklin, Wisconsin's Sam Mayer, who ended up 5th. Rhinelander, Wisconsin native Parker Retzlaff 14th. Slinger resident Josh Blicky 28th. Corey Heim won the Texas Truck Series race. Neenah, Wisconsin's a resident and defending series champ Ty Majeski had a fast truck, led once for 12 laps, and scored stage points in both stages. Finished 10th on the day. Lane Riggs touched Wausau, Wisconsin resident and Majeski's teammate Luke Fenhaus's Ford and put it in the fence. Too much damage, too much time to get that truck repaired and back around the pits in time. Fenhaus had to park it. So his next race is coming up. He has 4 of the next 6, he told me, while he raced at Madison International Speedway this past Sunday in the ASA Midwest Tour. TNT is the 4th network that will be televising Cup races in 2025, starting with their 5-race run on July 6th for the Chicago Street Race. Today, TNT revealed their full on-air team. Studio hosts will be Shannon Spake with Mr. Everywhere Jamie McMurray and Parker Kligerman. Booth is Adam Alexander, Steve Letarte, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. Pit reporters will be Marty Snyder, Danielle Trotta, and Alan Cavana. Throw in Larry Mack and Jeff Burton for storylines as well. The Cup Series and NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series are headed to Kansas this weekend. I'll be there with the ARCA Menard Series on Saturday. Coverage on Saturday where there will begin live on FS1. There are 26 ARCA cars currently on the entry list. We are now joined by a couple of racers, and they got a lot going on. So let's get right to it here on the Racing Roundup program. Welcome back to the Racing Roundup show. We're happily joined by a couple of racers, a father-daughter duo that happen to be famous in Wisconsin for their last name, but also famous for the purple cars and the speed they carry. Let's welcome in Lance and Lily Fassbender. Guys, thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having us.
Lance, welcome back. I know June was a struggle. Since then, you had the sheet time, we call it, and you got back behind the race car this spring. How did that feel, and how did everything kind of just feel so good to be back in that race car?
Well, it felt amazing. I was obviously a little concerned that I wouldn't be comfortable, but, man, I tell you, I couldn't have felt more at home as soon as I sat in that thing, and felt better than I felt in years. So I'm really looking forward to this year.
And I know it's been a progress for you to get involved in racing. Your family's been involved forever. That's part of what you always want to do. But then your daughter started racing. Like, okay, is Lance still going to go after it and get checkered flags? And the answer is yes. How busy has it been now that your daughter's racing?
Unbelievably busy. We're a very small team. I mean, really just family. We have a few friends that help once in a while, but to get the cars ready and all that, it's a struggle, and it's rewarding though because there's nothing else that I want to do. So it's very difficult but very rewarding.
Lily's famous grandfather, Fuzzy Fassbender, is in the Southeastern Wisconsin Short Track Hall of Fame deservedly so after winning all those races against all the greats in the modified era in Wisconsin. And now your turn is here, Lily. What have you been racing since you begged Dad, give me something, I want to drive?
Well, I started in go-karts when I was 11.
Okay.
So I've been racing those for 4 years. And then when I turned 15, I got a Legend. And that's been really fun. It's been a journey, but we're here.
What have you learned the most about getting and preparing a Legends car to race against some really stiff competition?
Oh, it's been hard. I mean, Dad's pretty much done all the work on the car. I'm just there for moral support because he just likes to have it done his way, and I like that because I know I'm going to have a good race car because he's been doing it for 30 years.
Yeah.
So I know I'm going to have a good race car, and it's been proven. We went to Missouri a couple weekends ago, and he was so nervous to get the car just right, and he did. And I felt like I raced it really well, but I was running second, and there was a lap car, and I went from there. But, yeah.
Yep.
Dad's been doing a great job, and I couldn't thank him enough. And Mom getting the car ready today and polishing it, and, yeah.
Thanks for bringing that. It's really cool to know you guys have that. I mean, there's the racing time, and then you got to show it off at a show. There's a lot more to it than just getting ready for racing on a Saturday. What made you go to Missouri, and how often do you guys travel now, racing with Lily or your car, Lance?
I have every intention always to travel as much as possible, either in the fall or in the spring. But weather tends to not cooperate sometimes.
Okay.
So, yeah, we'll venture out as many times as we can. But when you commit to running a track or series like we have, throughout the summer you miss out on a lot of extracurricular races. But
when it comes to racing at any level, it takes time, it takes money, it takes effort. For your racing, as much as you race, do you guys often race at the same track, the same day, the same night?
Yeah, we actually just 2 Saturdays ago we both raced at Plymouth on the same night. So
how'd that go?
Well, it started really good. We both crashed out in our A mains, but But as far as having both cars and having to worry about setup and stuff, I usually have a really good group of guys, and this Saturday or that weekend was no different. A lot of help that you need when you have two different cars, especially.
What tracks do you plan on racing at in, say, the next 10 to 12 to 14 days or so? Where are we going to find you racing?
Well, this weekend I'll be at Plymouth, and Lily has the weekend off. We might venture up to Luxembourg. They have a non-point show that they just added with the Legends, so we might do that. But she has a softball game, so we're committed to her senior year, and less than 2 weeks she graduates, so we don't have to worry about any. I mean, we won't be blessed to go to any more of that stuff, and
go racing some more.
Yeah, we'll go, only racing. Then next weekend we have the big Harry Neitzel Memorial at the fairgrounds in Beaver Dam that I'll be a part of. I'm planning on having both cars, one in each class, and then the next day she graduates, we going to do the ceremony and then head right up to Menominee for her race at Thunder Hill Speed Raceway. And then that Sunday, I'm going to run down at Sun Prairie with IRA. And then the following weekend, we go back up to Cedar Lake and 141. It just snowballs from there. There was really not much time off after this weekend.
There's a lot to follow, a lot to cover, and the Fossbender Racing Facebook page is probably where you can keep track of things, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Fossbender Racing. How about I say that for Lily and her dad, Lance, for joining us on the show. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.
And that'll be it for the TV segment. Hope you guys can hear us okay now. Are we okay? All right, working on it. All right. When it comes to racing, I love the fact that, Lance, you put so much time and effort into this. And I know I remember the year you had, I think, 2 or 3 motors that just didn't want to cooperate. And then it was like you willed it and people wanted it for you. And you got so much help. And the Neitzels and everybody with R&H, I mean, it seemed like it was like everybody lifted you up. How did that feel then, and how did that feel now in your recovery from June to get back in the car this spring?
It's priceless. You nailed it on the head. I've always had so many people help me, especially in times of need or that bad season, stuff like that. I always seem to have somebody, good core group of friends, and like you mentioned, Scotty Neitzel and R&H, they're always rallying behind me. They came over last night just to help with some issues on the car that I found, and so it gets me very emotional when I think about all that help, because I truly don't feel I deserve it. But I have worked hard and I have tried hard to be the best person I can, and I guess sometimes it's noticed or whatever. But and then after getting sidelined last year with the burns, that really showed the racing community. Showed me the racing community more than I've ever seen it before. I mean, I've been through a lot of stuff, a lot of highs, and the racing community is behind you then. With my dad passing and stuff like that, really saw a lot of the racing community support. But I felt it personally last year and well after it happened. It's indescribable, to be honest with you.
How much, and I don't want to get too far into this, but I do want to know your thoughts, and Lily, I want you to respond as well. When it comes to Dad's not racing, you're racing. He wants to help you in every way he can. He's recovering from injury, which maybe, I don't know if he had as much time, probably less time, because he had to probably do therapy and all that kind of fun stuff. How did that affect you, Lily, when it came to working on your stuff, or maybe doing more things that maybe you were relying on Dad to do to get kind of dialed in on what you wanted to do?
Well, it definitely did affect me, but obviously him more, because he couldn't do what he loved. But we just tried to help him get better and try change all of his bandages and all that stuff, and just give him support. We didn't really care anything about us besides my mom getting a bar, but that was a little held back. But we were more focused on Dad getting him recovered, because that was the only thing we were really worried about, because it was such a major thing that happened. And yeah, there
was a lot of text messaging to answer your question. A lot of text messaging from the bed. I remember some of her first races that I wasn't able to even make, and boy, I don't know who was more nervous, her or me, laying in bed helpless, or her, there with, I say just Mom very lightly, but Mom knows as well as anyone that she doesn't like working on the car, or has very limited input as far as how to make it better if it's not. But yeah, there was a lot of
Maquoketa.
Maquoketa was a special one. A lot of friends out in the shop, them guys out in the shop, and me laying in the house, just relaying info.
And now we're racing where you want to be, when you want to do it, how you want to do it. Who's all involved with you as far as team members and people that go traveling with you, whether it be Missouri or making sure the car's ready if you're walking across the stage, graduating on a Sunday to go racing Sunday night?
Well, Dad, obviously, he does it all. Jim Schickert, he helps us a lot. Joe Wood, he is our car owner, and he does a lot for us. And Mom helps us get it ready. There's a lot of. My sisters sometimes come and help us push the car into the trailer to get us going.
I was just going to say at home, it's whoever's there
Yep.
pitches in to get the job done, whatever it is. And, there's a lot of belly aching, a lot of not so happy moments. But at the end of the day, we get done what we got to get done to get the car to the track and try to perform.
And Lily, you got a few more things to check off your list, like you got to pass some grades to graduate. You got to probably figure that out. You got all that coming from now. How's that balance been, getting this spring ready and going to school full time, and now seeing that chapter's ending with some probably some pretty fun softball memories that are coming to a close?
Yeah, I'm gonna miss softball, but I'm not gonna lie, I like racing a lot more. So it's definitely easy for me to pick softball and racing.
Yeah.
But what was the other thing?
Who are the sponsors that help Fassbender Racing go up and down the road in those beautiful purple cars?
Ooh.
I'll take over
yeah,
for
I was
that.
gonna say.
I made a list. I always make a list. So I'm going to read them fast. R&H Racing Equipment.
Take your time.
Spankins Motorsports, Falvey Auto, Jensen Sales and Service, RC Custom Design, Doug Skipper Inn, The Hill Tavern, Chance's Pub and Grill, True Accuracy, Be Beautiful Salon, Gary Francor, Dan Buss, and all of Lily's Fender friends.
Who are all the Fender friends? How'd they get involved?
There's a lot.
Yeah.
Just family, friends,
Yeah.
people from racing, all over.
$20 gets
Yeah,
your name on the
20.
Fender.
All right. You still taking donations?
Yep.
Absolutely.
All right. Go to Fassbender Racing on Facebook, or just show up at the racetrack and say, "Here's my 20. Where's my Sharpie? I'll put my own name on the car."
There we go.
I'm kidding.
That works.
It's got to be more to it than that, right?
Not much.
We accept more than 20.
I think we would
Yeah.
probably
Oh,
make room.
okay.
Yeah,
Just checking.
we make
Just
an
checking.
allowance.
Yeah. It's great having you here. Thanks for taking the time.
It's great being here. This is obviously a cool surrounding show that everybody wants to be on, and I have always been honored and felt privileged, and now she's getting to feel this and be a part of it too, and I couldn't be more proud of her and more proud of everybody that's here that supports us every week.
We are so happy you're here to tell your story and show those sponsors that you are racing for them and racing with a bunch of heart. How about a big hand for the Fassbenders, Lance and Lily? Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you for having
Really
me.
appreciate it. Make sure you sign our Bob Trado Sign Writer backdrop, celebrating 41 years of racing. That's about half the time that, I think that maybe Fuzzy was probably racing, 50, 60 years beyond that. He raced for a long time, but we've been around for enough to see Lance's full career, and now we're getting to see Lily's career budding career through all of this. So we're going to be here for a little while longer, so we need you back on the show if you guys don't mind. We're taking a commercial break. When we come back, we're talking about Plymouth Dirt Track. We're talking about the big opener at Madison during Bill Helens in the Groove Report. And Dean Strom is standing by with the Bonafide Security Solutions Short Track Report. That and more on this edition of the Racing Roundup Show. We'll be right back.
Join the racing crowd every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Central all season long. Contact us on our website, racingroundupshow.com. We'll be right back with more of the Upper Midwest and Wisconsin racing scene, NASCAR, and the world of motorsports.
The Gravely Mower Series at Olson Outdoor Power is raising the bar on performance with smarter controls, longer run times, and more comfort. Add in layaway and financing from Olson's, and there's no lawn you can't conquer. Buy the best from the best. Gravely at Olson's Outdoor Power, Muskego.
At Automatic Transmission Design, we know your vehicle is important to you. When your transmission needs servicing, take it to the best. ATD in Germantown, Wisconsin. ATD understands how important it is to get your vehicle fixed right the first time. When you take your vehicle to ATD, our ASE trained technicians will run diagnostic tests to pinpoint the exact problem and answer any questions you may have before repairs begin. ATD has been providing high-quality, honest repairs to customers for over 15 years. We service all makes and models using the best parts and equipment available. When you come to ATD, you will get an honest assessment of the problem, simple explanations, experienced technicians, competitive pricing, high-quality parts, and their 100% guarantee. Money is not the goal at ATD. It is the result of fixing the problem and returning the vehicle to you. That is their goal. The next time your vehicle needs quality transmission service, give Charlie a call at 262-251-7777 or visit autotransdesign.com.
Jiffy Lube has locations across Wisconsin to serve you. Visit jiffylube.com to locate your store and to find the latest coupons and promotional offers. You're greeted by a friendly and knowledgeable staff. Grab a water or coffee and know you and your vehicle are in good hands. Windshield wipers, new tires, and alignments are a few of the many services offered. Jiffy Lube proudly features Pennzoil. There's a whole lot more than no appointment drive-up oil changes at Jiffy Lube. Welcome to personalized car care. Wisconsin race fans, find your store at jiffylube.com.
Organize like the pros with Hefner Racing products. Take your trailer to the next level. Upgrade your garage, streamline your shop. Whether you're tearing up the track or tackling home projects, Hefner Racing Products has you covered with the best made and widest variety of organizational accessories made right here in Wisconsin. Shop online now at hrpracing.com.
Mower Series at Olson Outdoor Power is raising the bar on performance with smarter controls, longer run times, and more comfort. Add in layaway and financing from Olson's, and there's no lawn you can't conquer. Buy the best from the best. Gravely at Olson's Outdoor Power, Muskego.
Check out our website, RacingRoundupShow.com, to watch show archives, see photos from decades of our program, and links to support our awesome show advertisers. Now let's get back to more of the Racing Roundup Show.
Welcome back to our 41st season of the Racing Roundup program. Glad to have you with us on this Tuesday evening. We're live at Polly's Pub and Eatery, 81st and Greenfield in West Dallas. We cover Wisconsin and the world of motorsports. We want to thank our friends at Coldwell Banker Home Sale Realty for sponsoring this portion of our program. You want to sell and buy your commercial or home properties with Rapina Group, Coldwell Banker Home Sale Realty. List and buy with confidence. Hire a realtor that has the knowledge and expertise to get your deal done. Not all realtors are the same. Knowledge is power. Hire knowledge. It's easy to find. Choose Coldwell Banker Home Sale Realty and sell your house or commercial property with the Rapina Group. Visit rapinagroup.com. It's now time to welcome you back to the Racing Roundup program with our next guest segment. And we're happy to be joined by these two guests, and we're going to welcome in officially these guys right here, right now. Welcome back to the Racing Roundup program. Our Anderson's Pure Maple Syrup Spotlight shines on short tracks and short track racers across the state of Wisconsin. And tonight, we've got a gem of a racetrack on the Sheboygan County Fairgrounds called the Plymouth Dirt Track. Let's welcome in Bill and Kurt. Guys, thanks for coming on the show. Appreciate it very much.
Thanks for having us. Thank you.
Bill, what's your official duties at Plymouth Dirt Track?
Sales, marketing, and promotions.
All right, and you got a great track there. I'm telling you, I love it. You may not know this, but I actually track announced there from July of '89 through the '91 season. Every Saturday night, I loved it, and I love going back every chance I get.
We're glad to have you back, and we're proud of our facility. So. Be around more often.
Oh, man. And the neat thing about it is you guys do it right. The racing is there, and Kurt, you can attest to the fan engagement is like nowhere else.
Fan engagement's awesome, and they got a pretty good double brat.
Nearly world famous double brat. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's one thing that when I talk to other people, that they have always said that Plymouth's always had the best food for track food. So, and look at me.
Yeah.
They got good track food.
Look at both of us.
Yeah.
So, Bill, Kurt's been racing there a long time. I mentioned about when I was there back in ancient times, back in the 1900s. But it's a great track for fans to come to. The racing is great, and the stands are set back a little bit so you can see everything happening. It's not, you don't miss anything right in front of you because it's right there. As far as racing goes, the track really has a lot to offer, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think we're, like you said, the proximity for people to sit, you're not that far away. The chute is right in front of you, so all the cars go out right in front of you.
Yeah.
It puts you right in the middle of the action, so pretty proud of that.
So this Saturday, May 10th, there's a big to-do because you guys got a little washed out last weekend, so there's a lot of excitement ready to go, right? Everything's in line.
It'll be the first night of the Super 6 late models coming to town, joined by our regular 360 sprint cars, along with the Grand Nationals and the B-Mods. Our car count the first weekend was excellent at 111. A lot of B-Mods, a lot of Grand Nationals that we didn't expect. It was higher car counts than what we originally thought, which was a great thing. So this week, Kurt will put on a show, so we're looking forward to that.
So, Kurt, you've won a few races at Plymouth Dirt Track, a few championships, and you know how important it is to get a good night underway early in the season. There's a lot of points on the line, and the competition, man, I'm telling you, when you got Ben Schmidt and those guys playing hard, and you're racing against some guys that have done it for 10, 20, 30 years like you have, it's not easy to win these, is it, at Plymouth?
Oh, it's not easy. The way they do the track and everything, it's not that easy to to win the races. There's a lot of competition. There's a lot of young guys out there now that have stepped up their programs, and makes an old guy like me work pretty hard. And then you get the Ben Schmitz and the Lance Fosbenders and the Brendan Burse, and normally we put on a pretty good show.
Yep. Plymouth Dirt Track's website is PlymouthDTR.com, and there's a lot of big things happening. Saturday night racing is awesome. Do you also have some special events coming up, Bill? Tell us about some of those.
Yeah, the first weekend we'll have the World Outlaws back into town after a 20-year absence, so we're real excited about that.
That's in June, right?
June 6th, Friday night instead of the normal Saturday. Car counts, I mean, we've been hearing from different people coming in that we normally don't have, so it should be a really, really good show that night. And then 2 weeks later, we followed up with the Road America Challenge, which is paired up with Road America's IndyCar weekend with us. Couple IndyCar drivers, we've heard rumors.
It's a great weekend, though. It's a great weekend
up.
because there's a bus leaving from Road America. So if you want to go camping for the weekend and get all the good racing in Sheboygan, I'm telling you, this is the deal. They have buses going from Road America to Plymouth Dirt Track and back. And it's a great place to hang out. I mean, it's really neat to have that set up that way.
Yeah, they pick you up at the main gate at Road America and drop you off at our main gate. So I'm looking forward to both of those nights. Are going to be really incredible racing.
And I believe, if I remember right, the crowds at the IndyCar event have been amazing.
Yeah.
And the Sheboygan County Fairgrounds is also a holding cell for parking, right? On Sundays of IndyCar weekends? Is that happening again?
No, Road America is fully taking everything there now. In the past we did NASCAR weekend. We shuttled people, but we're looking at having some IndyCar drivers will be over that weekend with us, at least signing autographs. Maybe get in the car. If Kurt's got an extra one sitting in his shop, he's willing to put up.
One of them guys want to race my car, they can race. I'll sit.
I'll give you a phone call tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Love it.
One fun fact about the Outlaws, the last time they were there, I did win a heat race against the Outlaws at Plymouth against Joey Saldana in the purple Barney car, which had flaming dice on the side of it, and that was it, the number. And Joey Saldana come walking over, and he looked at my car, and he kind of looked at the motor and looked at the car and shook his head and walked away.
Great memories, great times. Go to PlymouthDTR.com to find out more about Plymouth Dirt Track. They're coming Friday night, June 6th with the Outlaws. And tonight, Saturday, May 10th, it's a big night. And every Saturday is a big night all summer long. All right, Bill, that was our TV portion, if you're okay with that. I want to tell you it's exciting to have you here because I know a lot of fans get to Plymouth when they can. But the more enticing part of it is the weekly racing, no matter what you guys have there, continues to be so impressive.
Yeah, and like I said before, the car counts have gone up, and part of that is Beaver Dam with their changes over there and what they're going through. Also, 141 Speedway has eliminated the Grand Nationals, so those guys have come over by us now. We did a show at the Hall of Fame in Hartford in March, and it was amazing. The people from Beaver Dam that came over that, hey, we're coming by you. We know what it's about. We had and I think it was one of Lance's daughter sponsors last week was there, never had been to a dirt track before. He said, I'll be here every week.
Wow.
He said, this is neat. I got hit by a mud ball in the head. This is awesome. So I think we're heading the right direction. Things are going well. Just get Mother Nature to help us.
Yeah, that's a big deal. I know that you guys tried really hard, and it's incredible to know that social media can help in those regards, right?
Yeah.
When it's time to say, hey, guys, we're not going to go tonight. If you ever have any questions, you don't have to ring the office phone. You can actually go out to your Facebook page, right?
Yeah, we hit that. That's usually the first place it goes up that we're canceled. And then it's the website and everywhere else. And we try to cancel it early because, like Kurt, you're driving an hour plus to get to the racetrack. Some other guys, we've had late models come from northern Illinois. So those guys need to know early that, hey, I don't have to get on the road and turn around and go back home halfway up.
Great racing this Saturday at the Plymouth Dirt Track, including that only 6 nights this year, racing for a championship with the dirt late models, and the 360s will be there too, Kurt. And I'm guessing it'll be a big night for you to have your sponsors support you in a big way at a track that I know you do really well at.
Yeah, I'm excited about getting back to Plymouth. It'll be my first night in the car this year, and we had tie out before, but I wasn't going to run this weekend because I was supposed to run last weekend, but Mother Nature won that race. And then next weekend we go into Dodge County and Plymouth again, and I want to put a night on the car before we hit Dodge County. It's just
Yep.
Dodge is a little different place, and I won a night on it. And I seen that Ben won, so I got to get up there and maybe knock him down a little bit.
All right.
And
Ben's doing pretty good up there.
We're doing good this year. We're mainly I'm doing part-time. Ty's going to be full-time running the whole MSA Plymouth Series deal.
All right. Who are the sponsors helping out that program?
I got to thank all my crew first. Bob and Mike, Hef, Sid, Jenny and Jenny, Eddie and Michaela, Zach when he can show up, Boomer, and our team photographer guy. He's a retired deputy, Dave. He's always got my social media stuff going good and the pictures. Got to thank the Wing Riders. Some of them are here tonight. And Weston Automotive, Binkowski Properties, High Quality Contracting, K9 Dog Training and Boarding, Netting Transportation, NNS Towing, Huff Farms, Dean and Stacy, Biggie High Performance, Christine Hartman Realty, Route 41, Rigatoni's, best meatballs you'll ever have. Diamond Jim's Auto Sales, Source Services, Oak Creek Automotive, Bailings, RC Custom Design, Akrite Auto, Call Girl Motorsports, and RC Trailer Leasing.
And Bill, I'll ask about your sponsorship program because I'm sure you're welcoming sponsors that want to come in and sponsor a night or sponsor a division. Or back in the day, they actually sponsored right rear tires, giving sponsors like, hey, I'm going to sponsor right rear, pull a number out of the hat kind of thing. You guys do a lot of great things there.
Yeah, we started out the year with kind of even off, and all of a sudden you get that first night of racing under your belt, and all of a sudden the phone's ringing off the hook and emails and everything else. So always looking for more sponsors of the World Outlaw Show. Contact the fair office and they'll get you in touch with me, and we'll go from there.
You can contact them through the website, PlymouthDTR.com, or go to the Facebook page. It's a lot of fun to have you guys on the show. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
And
Thanks
you guys
for
brought some
having
tickets
us.
to give away. So we have some tickets to give away to our audience here tonight as well. So thanks, guys, for that. And we're looking forward to having you back on again.
Sounds great. Thanks for having us.
How about advice here for Bill Weinig and Kurt Davis, driver of that 6K, and his son Ty is here tonight too. They're racing full time. They're racing this Saturday at Plymouth Dirt Track. PlymouthDTR.com is the website. We're coming right back with more of this edition of the Racing Roundup Show. Stay tuned.
Thanks for tuning in to the Racing Roundup Show. Check out our website, racingroundup.show.com, and like our show on Facebook. Join us on Twitter and Instagram at Racing Roundup. We're coming right back after these messages from our awesome show sponsors.
Adams Towing offers expert heavy-duty towing services for the entire state of Wisconsin from their Plover headquarters. Since 1961, 3 generations of heavy-duty towing specialists and racing supporters have provided towing, flatbed, and reload service, plus winching and upright, long boom service, truck starting, and cleanup. Adams Towing proudly sponsors Ryan Farrell's Super Late Model team. Put Adams Towing and their experienced team and their fleet of heavy-duty tow trucks and rollbacks to work for you. Call Adams Towing today at 715-344-3836.
Danny Lynch's at the corner of Highway 100 and Lincoln is a great place to watch NASCAR races, Packer games, Brewer games, and to meet up with your friends. Joey and Jim Lynch pride themselves on their friendly hospitality and welcome Racing Roundup listeners to stop in to watch all the races on their 14 TVs and flat screens. Danny Lynch's at the corner of Highway 100 and Lincoln has been a longtime supporter of racers, including National Road Racing Motorcycle Champion Dan Belansky. Relax around the big neighborhood bar with 2 pool tables and dartboards surrounded by TVs. Whether you're meeting up before the game, want to watch the races with race fans, or just want to grab a cold one, head to Danny Lynch's at the corner of Highway 100 Lincoln and West Dallas.
427-1000 American Foundation.
When your foundation is in need of repair, you need 3 things: an honest opinion, quality work, and fair prices. Call American.
Trust and dedication. That's American Foundation.
Call American right now for huge savings.
427-1000 American Foundation.
Bobby Gutnick and the technicians at Oak Creek Automotive on South 27th Street in Drexel are experts in automotive repair. For 35 years and counting, the Napa-certified Car Care Center at Oak Creek Automotive handles emission testing, tires, and complete auto, truck, and SUV repair. From oil changes to transmission replacement. 414-761-3250 to schedule your free inspection appointment. For all your vehicle repair needs, head to South 27th in Drexel to the experts at Oak Creek Automotive. Like our show on Facebook and share our content with other race fans. We hope to see you at one of our upcoming shows too. Join racers, other race fans, and win prizes. Now let's get back to more of the Racing Roundup Show.
Welcome back to our 41st season. Yes, 41st season of the Racing Roundup program. And for the second straight year, we're actually putting our show on television as well. We take 30 minutes of our of our Tuesday shows and place it on Milwaukee's only motorsports TV show called The Racing Roundup Show. Pretty original title, right? We do it every Saturday at 11:30 a.m. for 30 minutes on CW18 Milwaukee, the home for all things NASCAR Xfinity Series. By all means, we want you to check out our Saturday show, spread the word. We want to get more people involved in racing, and that's another great way to reach a different audience and a lot of racers to tell them about what's cool about what we do here on the show every Tuesday and covering all things motorsports in Wisconsin, the upper Midwest, and the world of motorsports. This portion of our show is brought to you by the Midwest Truck Series, which is supported by the Otter Inn in Randolph and Widener Automotive. Congrats again to Bullseye Joe Shear, 36 race winner at Madison International Speedway, Eugene Gregorich. The next Midwest Truck Series race is Friday, May 16th at Hawkeye Down Speedway in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. For all the latest news and series info, visit MidwestTruckSeries.com. We're going to be talking to a driver that has a big-time history at the Midwest Truck Series in our next moment. But right now, we're going to slide things over to Dean Strom because Dean's here talking about all things short track racing. And racing was a little hampered by Mother Nature, Dean, but quite a few things got in this week.
Yeah, Camden, just pump the brakes for 1 sec, all right? We have to do the Bonafide Security Solutions Short Track Report for cameras and alarm systems for your home or business, program card access, custom-made security doors, on-call locksmith work, and more. It's a lock.
Dean, can I interrupt you for 1 second?
Yes, sir.
This is Max Wisniewski's Frank Smith car.
I was just admiring it. It's awesome.
This model was just finished by Max. He has the Quickie cars as well. But don't you have the fender off of this car?
No, it's a different car.
Frank Smith, you actually have sheet metal from.
No, not anymore. I left
you had it.
I left it behind.
You had it at an office
yes,
back in the day. I want to point out the fact that we've got the whole car here. Dean doesn't have any part of the car anymore. 10-4. Continue, please.
Support the racers at Team Bonafide by calling 262-790-9400 or go online to bonafidesafe.com. Bonafide protects what you value. Jim and I called the Joe Shear Classic Midwest Truck Series and ASA Midwest Tour races Sunday afternoon at Madison International Speedway for Track TV. What a great experience. Mark Martin was the Grand Marshal. He stepped into the booth after his Grand Marshal duties, and we thought we were going to have him for maybe 20, 25 laps.
Yeah.
We had him for 200 laps. It was awesome.
We asked him anything we wanted. There were 8 cautions. We're like, hey, Mark, what would you do? He said, that was a racing deal.
Yeah.
We asked him for his analysis, and it was great.
At a couple points, I took the headset off, and I leaned over, and I said, yeah, you can go if you want to. You don't have to stay. And he's like, no, you guys got a good setup here. I like this. I'm just going to hang out and watch the race. You don't mind, do you? No.
He was glued to the scoring monitor. He's watching the screen. We're seeing the replays.
He was doing the replays.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Congrats to Casey Johnson. He passed defending series champion Gabe Summers with 5 to go on the outside to claim his second Joe Shear Classic at MIS. Eugene Gregorich, the third Midwest Truck Series feature win, his first career Truck Series win. And again, we go in the groove with Bill Holland a little bit later on for the full details of that great racing on Sunday. CK Contractors LLC.com brings us to Wilmot Raceway and Wisconsin Wingless Sprints coverage. Hire the pros at CK Contractors for Lake Michigan shore restoration, lot grading, excavation, retention pond building, and more. Visit CKContractorsLLC.com. This past Saturday night, very first race of Wilmot Raceway's 75th anniversary season.
Yeah.
On Kenosha County Fairgrounds. That's cool, 75 years. And they kicked it off in a big way. It was the Dick Colburn Classic for the bumper-to-bumper IRA Outlaw Sprints, and Jake Blackhurst takes the feature win. His first A-Main win with the 9-6 Motorsports team. Danny Schlafer of Schlafer Auto Body in Lanham won the B-Main, finished 20th in the A-Main. And Chris Klemko of CK Contractors won in the Wisconsin Wingless Sprints. Chris raced in all 3 sprint car divisions on Saturday night, but came up short in the 604 Winged Sprinters feature as Greg Olson of Round Lake Heights, Illinois prevailed. 8th grader Tucker Richards, might want to keep that name in the Rolodex.
Yeah.
8th grader Tucker Richards won the IRA Lightning Sprints feature. This Saturday night, Thunder continues. Saturday night at Wilmot, Street Stocks, Modifieds, Bandits, 604 Wing Sprinters, again, WilmotRaceway.com. World of Outlaw Late Models race 2 nights near La Crosse, Wisconsin at Mississippi Thunder Speedway. Turbo, Tyler Erb stated from Victory Lane Friday night that the Wisconsin Oval is one of his, quote, one of his top 5 most favorite places. to race, noting that the track staff, his buddies and fans are fantastic. And then Nick Hoffman, he finished second on Friday night, but on Saturday cashed a $30,000 winner's check. Hoffman, known as the Thrill from Mooresville, also stated in Victory Lane that this place is just awesome, as he won on Dairyline Showdown weekend at Mississippi Thunder for the second straight year. Brady Bacon won his 60th USAC National Sprint Car feature Friday night at Eldora in Rossburg. Macho Man now trails only Dave Darland by 2 race wins in the series all-time win list. David Gravel started on the pole. Fellow World of Outlaw champ Donnie Schatz started 10th. 30-lap feature Friday night at Eldora. Schatz was second behind Gravel by lap 20, but he couldn't track him down. Gravel goes on to win. He has now won 4 of the last 6 Outlaw Sprint features. Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series action. Stands were packed for their first trip to Circle City Raceway in Indianapolis on Friday night. Brandon Overton held off Devin Moran. Donnie Moran, that'd be a story, wouldn't it?
Well, it'd be his dad.
That'd be a story. Yeah. Devin Moran for the win. Lucas Oil Series is also racing. Farmer City Raceway, quarter mile, Friday night, $25,000 to win. And then Illinois Speedway finishes off on Saturday night, $30,000 to the winner, Fairbury Speedway. Flow Racing Night in America for the Dirt Late Models kicks off their 2025 campaign at LaSalle Speedway tonight, as Tony Izzo and the crew reopen that Illinois speed plant. Flow Series then heads to Spoon River Speedway in Illinois on Wednesday and Lincoln Speedway on Friday night. All of those features pay $20,000 to win. It's live on Flow if you can't make it.
It's a short drive
to the events.
It's like 4.5 to Fairbury, right? From here?
To Flow? To get Flow?
Fairbury.
Fairbury, a little less than that.
Yeah.
About 3.5.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's live on Flow. Right now.
Yeah.
If you can't go there.
Right.
Yeah. Weather played havoc over the weekend on several Midwestern tracks, including the Plymouth Dirt Track in Wisconsin. We talked about that. Eldora Speedway in Ohio had Saturday night cancellations due to weather conditions. And the Rich Vogler Classic for the USAC Silver Crown race at Winchester Speedway in Indiana was a wash and will now take place on Friday, June 27th.
Thank you, Dean Strom, for that involvement on the program. The Bonafide Security Solutions Short Track Report. Our friends at BonafideSafe.com bring us that every week.
Good to be here, Jim.
It's great to see you again, Dean.
Good to see you.
Saw him a couple days ago. I see him tonight. It's great to see my friend Dean Strom on the show. It's also great to have our next guest on the show. He's been patiently waiting, and it's really nice to welcome in a driver that's been literally racing across the world on our program. We like to have him on as much as we can. We got him here tonight, and it's great to have him on the program. Welcome to the Racing Roundup Show. We've got a special guest. He drives a monster truck in the Monster Jam experience from across the world, from Itasca, Illinois, to our show. Let's welcome in Monster Jam Cam, Camden Murphy. Cam, welcome to the Racing Roundup Show, buddy.
Yeah, thanks for having me back, man. This is awesome to be back. It's, we broke our streak for so many years in a row, but I'm glad to be back on, and thanks for always having me.
We're glad to have you on the live video, and it's amazing to know that you have traveled literally the world doing monster truck racing. And it's been how many years now? 5 or 6 already doing this?
With Monster Jam, no. We're coming up on roughly, I want to say about 8 years with Monster Jam. So time has been flying. I've been to Australia, Costa Rica, Finland, South Africa, just to name a few. It's been an absolute blast. This year, debuted a brand new Monster Jam truck called Classroom Crusher. It's basically a giant school bus that's just too cool for school. So it is awesome, man. It's been an absolute blast. Truly living a dream, having a lot of fun, and trying to do a bunch of other racing in the meantime, too.
Where are you right now? What continent?
I'm here in the States. I'm in Florida right now, actually driving back to Mooresville, North Carolina tomorrow. So we're in the stateside right now.
You still have a pulse in the NASCAR world and a pulse with Joe Nemechek, I believe, right? Where it comes to Front Row Joe has got some racing going on, and you try to do as much as you can and maybe get back in the seat of one of those trucks and the NASCAR side someday, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Joe is going full head of steam right now with all the vintage racing he's doing. I think he was just at Road Atlanta not long ago, and he is full steam ahead going with all that. Yeah, I think 10 cars just themselves. Then I think they had almost 30 or so at Road Atlanta. So that is awesome to see the historic stuff doing really well. But I talk to Joe pretty much every week, at least once a week. He's one of the busiest guys I've ever met in my life, one of the smartest guys I've ever met. But thanks to him, I am where I'm at in my career. He's one of the many people that has helped me get to where I'm at. And hoping to get back to some NASCAR stuff soon and do some other stuff. But I'm thinking we probably are able to do a little bit of vintage racing with him too. We talked about maybe a little Indy, Road Atlanta, Road America maybe as well. So we'll see what happens.
A lot goes on with what you have going on, and I'm telling you that it's exciting to know that we can track you down tonight. Will your schedule be in the upper Midwest at all with the Classroom Crusher Monster Jam truck?
As of right now, it will not be. So the closest I'll probably come to the Midwest will be Pittsburgh, actually, in about 2 weeks here. So not the closest, unfortunately, but there might be something later in the year that comes a little closer. But typically speaking, Indianapolis is really the closest I get, which I had probably a couple weeks ago. I was out at Lucas Oil Stadium, had an absolute blast there. My parents came out and had an absolutely insane freestyle that weekend. So it was a good weekend, to say the least.
It's great to see your progression. I know that winning the Midwest Truck Series races was a big deal. Racing with your buddies is a big deal. And now racing across the globe, representing what we like to say is an alumni, but also a current member of the Racing Roundup Show cast. And we want to thank you for your time tonight here on the show as well.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I appreciate you having me. And, speaking of racing, first of all, it's awesome to see Midwest Truck Series going strong. And I follow them along on social media, and I truly miss racing this Truck Series. But definitely have a little bit of a news to share with everybody. I've kind of been completely quiet about it. I've been working on it for a little while. But I will be running a pro late model and a super late model with Donnie Wilson Motorsports here coming up actually next weekend at North Wilkesboro, and working on a few other races as well at Hickory and possibly Jennerstown and Five Flags as well as Montgomery. So having an absolute blast doing that. That's going to be a lot of fun. So I haven't said that publicly. So I wanted to share with you here on the Racing Roundup Show and to share with the world. So absolutely awesome. Can't talk about the partners and sponsors just yet. All that's coming. It's really, really awesome and very thankful for what we put together to go racing, but to have the opportunity to be able to do this and the top-notch equipment with Donnie Wilson is awesome. They have been crushing it this year so far in pro and super late. So to get back behind the wheel of a late model is going to be awesome. It's going to be a handful, to say the least. I mean, it's been about 10 years since I've been behind the wheel of one of them. So definitely going to have some rust to knock off, but I'm feeling good about it. Couldn't do it with any team better.
We can't let you go with just telling us about it. We got to know what was the impetus behind this, because I know you spent a lot of time in North Carolina, a lot of time driving from place to place, and a lot of time in airports. How did it come to be where you had this opportunity to go pro late model and super late model racing with literally one of the best teams in the country?
Man, I wish I could share the full story with you, if I'm being honest with you, but can't quite just yet. But more information will be coming out soon. But just being involved with the sport and just living in Mooresville and being a part of the industry and knowing like Mr. Nemechek and others in the sport and just being involved in it for so many years and literally sleeping in my car, as we talked about, and just all the crazy and wild stories that I've had chasing this whole dream of the racing stuff. And, obviously I've really raced in NASCAR a whole lot the last couple of years, just Monster Jam and a lot of the other things I have going on. My simulator business, SimGear Simulators, has been super, super busy. So haven't had a whole lot of time to go short track racing or NASCAR stuff. Haven't been able to put a whole lot of focus on it, but I hope to share more details here soon. I know I'm kind of leaving you hanging a little bit, but it's super cool, and I'm incredibly honored and beyond thankful for those that have put me in this position and to give me this opportunity, because there truthfully isn't any better opportunity in the super late and pro late model world.
I agree 100%, and I'm looking forward to finding out that news. Hopefully we can cover some of those races, and if you win one of those, you got to be back on our show if that's okay.
Oh, man, if I could win one, that would be awesome. I mean, I got confidence. I got the equipment behind me. Just got to knock the rust off, and absolutely I'd be back. I'd be more than happy to come back, man. It's awesome to see 41 years, the Racing Roundup Show, man. That is awesome. Yeah. I keep up with you guys as much as I can, and it's just awesome to be back here and just trying to come back to my roots, man. I miss short track racing. It is so much fun, and I miss going to the just local short tracks, just going on to the spectator too. So it's awesome to see the state of the short track racing world and to get back into it. I'm pumped.
It's great to have you on the show. Great to know the news is you're racing here in a pro and super in the U.S., and it's going to be neat to follow you along. And we can't thank you enough for spending some time tonight in between your busy schedules. There's more than one schedule you have to keep track of. Camden Murphy, thanks a lot for joining us on the Racing Roundup Show.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jim. Appreciate your time as always, and appreciate you always willing to sneak me in when we can. And so thank you again. Thanks everybody at Paulie's too. I know y'all are packed house there, I'm sure, and I look forward to be back.
Looking forward to it as well. How about a big hand, everybody, for Camden Murphy. Monster Jam Cam in the house on the video. Going short track racing. It's going to be a lot of fun to follow along. And the Classroom Crusher Monster Jam truck. We're back with Bill Howland talking about The big race this past weekend at Madison International Speedway, it was the Joe Shear Classic featuring the Midwest Truck Series and the ASA Midwest Tours season opener. That's on the way next on the Racing Roundup Show.
Join the racing crowd every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Central all season long. Share what you love about short track racing on our Facebook page and on Twitter and Instagram at Racing Roundup. We'll be right back with more of the Racing Roundup Show.
Greenfield Gallery wants to buy your racing collection. Do you have die-cast cars from IndyCar, Sprint Car, or short tracks? Greenfield Gallery wants them. If you have old racing programs, racing photos, and negatives, Greenfield Gallery wants those too. Contact Ralph Hibbert Jr. at Greenfield Gallery, who wants to buy your racing collection. Ralph also has an ever-changing eBay store full of racing collectibles. Search Greenfield Gallery. Email Ralph right now to get connected. His email address is ralph@greenfieldgallery.net.
For your next Purger project, go with the pros. Source Services. Champion driver Wisconsin Short Track Hall of Famer Dan Source founded Source Services in 1988 with one truck, one employee, and a tireless work ethic. Through the dedicated work of Dan and his employees, Source Services LLC is southeastern Wisconsin's leading waste container rental company. Dropped and picked up by professionals, you can rent a dumpster for up to 60 days. Source Services sorts and recycles to reduce the amount of waste going into landfills. Go with the pros at sourceservices.com.
Eliminate the hassles of planning a trip to the races. Hook up with Boring Bob's escorted NASCAR racing tours. Boring Bob offers transportation, lodging, race tickets, nightlife, shuttle service, and more. Boring Bob knows all the back roads into and out of the racetrack to get you in and out fast. Pick one or pick them all. Go in style to Daytona, Bristol, Phoenix, Las Vegas, and more. He has decades of experience and industry contacts galore. You name the race, let Boring Bob do the rest. Call Boring Bob today to make plans now to go on one of Boring Bob's famous escorted NASCAR racing tours. Boring Bob's always at 414-321-1307. That's 414-321-1307.
Angler's Bar and Grill and Campground is your destination for relaxation and fun. There's a full-service bar and restaurant with 54 campsites with full hookups, all less than a mile from the beautiful Wolf River. It's where the locals go in Fremont, Wisconsin. It's also home to the Midwest Mower Racing Club. All roads lead to Angler's Bar and Grill and Campground in Fremont, Wisconsin. Visit their Facebook page for live entertainment and lawnmower racing schedules. Angler's Bar and Grill and Campground. The Racing Roundup Show is dedicated to showcasing grassroots racers and national stars of our sport. If you're a fan of NASCAR, four-wheel, two-wheel, road racing, drag racing, or the short track scene, you are in the right place. Welcome back to the Racing Roundup Show.
Welcome back to our program on this Tuesday night, May 6th. We're looking forward to next Tuesday's show as well. We want to thank our friends at Schlafer Auto Body for sponsoring this segment of our program. For your next auto body repair or your daily driver or fleet or work trucks, you got one-stop shopping in Lannon at Schlafer Auto Body. Search their stuff on Facebook. They have great projects all going all the time. Danny and Al and the whole gang are ready to put together your vehicle back to where it should be. They work with all insurance companies. Search Schlafer Auto Body on Facebook. Again, Schlafer Auto Body in Lannon sponsoring this segment of our program. Our guests next week on the program, including John Everett from Road America, previewing the 2025 season at the National Park of Speed. Tim and Brad Keith will be promoting the Sunday afternoon, May 18, Chicks for a Cause cancer benefit race sponsored by Keith's Marina and Slinger Super Speedway. Two-time IRA Sprints champ Scotty Neitzel will join us to chat up the Harry Neitzel Tribute. That race is on Friday night, May 16th at Dodge County Fairgrounds in Beaver Dam. Plus, Badger Midget President Quinn McCabe stops in to chat about the Angels Park Speedway season opener on Sunday, May 18th. Lots going on in the world of racing, and our own Bill Holland joins us now. Bill, thanks for coming down to the show and spending some time with us, because Sunday was a big day, wasn't it, at Madison?
Big day. The Joe Shear Classic has always been a big event, and under Greg and Angie McCarn's stewardship, it's only gotten bigger. It's one of those events you mark on the calendar right away because you know it's going to be special. Speaking
of special, when Dean Strom and I got to call the races, that was part of it. Well, another part of it was seeing all the different racers that we know from across disciplines, whether it be dirt racers or guys that were there to watch or guys that were there helping crew members and help other teams. It was a really cool kind of reunion, wasn't it, of people across all disciplines, of Joe Shear fans from back in the day to kids helping wipe down their dad's wheels and stuff.
It was an interesting cross-section and a chance to catch up with some people you don't get to see that often, and an interesting melting pot.
How about the reaction that when you got a chance, and we're going to see it now in the group segment in a moment, but seeing Mark Martin there, I think, added a whole new level to just kind of like appreciating what we get to do here.
The man is fantastic. I only got to talk with him a couple of minutes. He was so generous with his time with so many people all day long. Remarkable. It seems as though he's becoming, for lack of a better word, the conscience of short track racing. He's somewhat opinionated. He's certainly worth listening to.
Yes, and when it comes to NASCAR and with the numbers on the door, he's got an opinion. Put that number right back in the middle of that big door. He doesn't like it on the side or the corner or anywhere else. It's kind of cool. And I know our own Faye Hendricks got an autograph from Mark. It was actually the Mark Martin stand-up we had right here where Alan Quickie's suit is. We had Mark Goodman had a Mark Martin stand-up from his Valvoline days. Faye got that signed by Mark. He signed autographs for like 2 hours. That was pretty cool. It's really neat to have you there. Let's take you there now. Why not? Bill Holland has spent a lot of time and effort to make sure you see the great highlights exclusively here on the Racing Roundup Show. Let's go with Bill Holland in the groove to Madison International Speedway.
Hi, I'm Bill Holland in the groove at Madison International Speedway, home of the ASA Midwest Tour's Joe Shear Classic. This race honors one of the very best to ever turn a lap on a short track, a 4-time champion here. And a special attraction this year, NASCAR Hall of Famer Mark Martin coming to MIS as this event's Grand Marshal.
You know, Joe and I raced for years and years and years, and both of us had beautiful race cars, the two prettiest cars at the track, and neither one of us ever put a tire mark on each other all those years of racing, and we raced a lot of times. He beat me a lot of times.
Former Midwest Tour champion Dalton Zier lived next door to the Hall of Famer as a youngster in Florida.
He was a great role model, and you know, it's like I live, eat, breathe racing, and it was just another day when I had Mark for a neighbor. It was just like, you know, just more of the same racing.
NASCAR Truck Series champ Ty Majeski is going for a 4th win in this event, his first Wisconsin short track race of the season.
Joe Shear Jr. and I are, driver crew chief in the Truck Series, so have a great relationship, even outside of racing. So, obviously done a lot for my career. Won my first championship with him and his second. So, really special to come back here and honor his dad.
Fellow NASCAR driver Luke Fenhouse ran second here as a teenager 4 years ago.
And we went out and finished second to Rich Bickle, and it was a big moment for me in my career. So, hoping to be, back up front, today.
2-time defending Midwest Tour champ Gabe Summers is also gunning for his first win in this Joe Shear Classic.
Last year we finished second in it to Ty, and in the summer race here we finished second to Zier. So I think we're really close. The car's been close, just not good enough each time. So hopefully we can make it just a touch better. And
DeForest Andrew Morrissey is a 2-time winner here. 3-time Midwest Tour champ Casey Johnson won this race 3 years ago. 2-time national short track champion Austin Nason's first big win came right here in 2018.
Just got to make sure your stuff's good all the way through runs. There's no different stages of runs like we have down south, so you just got to make sure your stuff's on top of it from the minute the green flag drops.
In qualifying, it's 5-time Big 8 Series champion Michael Bilderback with the fastest lap on the half mile.
I wouldn't have dreamed of it, that's for sure. So we had a good hot rod yesterday. We had speed. We've got this thing dialed in last 2 races. So now we just got to get the finish and hopefully be there at the end.
The Midwest Truck Series is also part of the Joe Shear Classic. Franksville veteran Jeff Holtz won this race 1 year ago.
We got a pretty good truck today, and hopefully we can do close to repeating.
Former Truck Series champ Jerry Wood remembers racing with Joe Shear back in his late model days.
You always knew where you stood with the guy, and he would never give you an inch. But then again, you knew you weren't going to be in trouble racing with him. I mean, you're just a super guy.
Racing the 31 truck, former NASCAR driver Jason Schuler. back behind the wheel for this event.
It was pretty devastating to me when Joe passed away back in the day, because he was definitely instrumental in my career. But yeah, it should be a good day, I think.
The truckers will go for 36 laps. Hartford's Aaron Moyer in the 140 and defending Midwest Truck Series champ Brandon Reichenberger in the 3 on the outside leading the way. These truckers will put on a show. Moyer takes the lead ahead of Reichenberger. Eugene Gregorich III in the 1W. Chester Ace in the 93. Jeff Holtz is 38. Grant Griesbach and fast qualifier Derek Meyer. The leaders begin to pull away. Moyer's never won a truck race, but he's certainly capable. Gregorich, second in last year's championship standings. Chester Ace with a lot of wins in this series over the years. Behind the leaders, Reichenberger, Holtz, the defending race champion, Griesbach, who won the series opener, and Meyer, the young Michigan driver who set fast time. Trouble in turn 1, Eric Wise in the 17 truck. Nick Van taking the 24 to the pits. Here we go for the lead. Aaron Moyer and Eugene Gregorich III. Gregorich, the third generation driver out of central Wisconsin, making the pass on Moyer. New leader. Caution for 6-time series champ James Swan in Russ Blakely's 22 truck after he lost an engine in his regular ride. Back to green, and it's Gregorich and Moyer up front setting the pace, both chasing their first win in the Midwest Truck Series. And it will go to Gregorich. He's first to the checkered flag.
I mean, at some point we knew that it was going to work out at this place. We've had a fast time here, almost got it today, and we're starting second row inside. It was, we basically said it's now or never. Like it's our track, it's our time. We got to go get this thing.
Coming to green for the first of 200 laps, Levon Vandergeest in the 23 and Riley Stenjum, wheeling the black 77 car, lead the field of 29 cars and drivers through turns 1 and 2. Vandergeest takes the early lead. Stenjum, a former champion in the Tundra Super Late Model Series, runs second. Levon Vandergeest, the second generation racer out of Merrill, Wisconsin, looking very strong early. He will set the pace, leading to a competition caution at lap 50. We'll restart with Vandergeest and Majeski side by side, but not for long. Ty Majeski very good on restarts. He will put the 91 out front. Majeski gunning for a 4th win in the Joe Shear Classic, beginning to pull away. And we're under caution again. Big damage for Paul Schaefer Jr.'s 7 car. And 2024 Midwest Tour Rookie of the Year, Ty Fredrickson's also done for the day. After pit stops and a restart, it's Majeski. Austin Nason now second. Andrew Morrissey and Luke Fenhouse. Fenhouse sliding down the front stretch. This will bring out another caution. Back to green, and it's Ty Majeski and Austin Nason racing for the lead. These two have had their battles over the years. Majeski, the all-time Midwest Tour wins leader. Nason, a 2-time national short track champion. And it all breaks loose in turn 4. Ty Majeski's car is wrecked. Dalton Zier's 119 with damage. Nason ruled to be part of the caution. He goes to the back. Back to green with Gabe Summers and Casey Johnson up front. These two drivers with 5 ASA Midwest Tour championships between them. Summers leads. He's never won this race. Johnson running second with Justin Mondyke third, Michael Bilderback fourth. They touch in turn 4, and Andrew Morrissey right behind with big damage. He will have to take the 39 to the pits. We've got less than 10 laps to go. Gabe Summers battling to hold off Casey Johnson. The 5 goes to the high side. Casey Johnson looking for the move that wins a second Joe Shear Classic. Johnson out front, coming to the finish. It's Casey Johnson, the 3-time Midwest Tour champion, winning the 2025 Joe Shear Classic at Madison.
And we pitted early just to make an adjustment, and they made a really good adjustment. And once we put tires on, I could start chipping away, and then we found something that worked for us. I passed a lot of guys on the high side, and then a lot of good cars kind of took themselves out, with some of them cautions, the 39, the 14, 91, so we did get some luck, which you need to win these races,
Casey Johnson back in victory lane on the ASA Midwest Tour as the Joe Shear Classic once again lives up to its name. I'm Bill Holland. Thanks for watching, and thanks to everyone who makes our program possible. We'll see you next time we go in the groove on the Racing Roundup Show.
How about a big hand for Bill? That was a lot of coverage, a lot of racing action, Bill. Way to condense it on down, man.
A lot of action. Unfortunately, my voice is shot. Apologies to the audience. We'll try to be better
next time. Could you maybe do some John Wayne impressions for us while you got this tone that you don't normally have? Anything else come to mind? Maybe some Walter Cronkite impressions?
I think I'd be wise to just not talk a whole lot for a few days.
All right. Hey, what's going to be on Saturday's show? I know we always have a component where Bill Holland is part of our Saturday TV shows. What have you decided of all that action on Sunday to bring forth on Saturday?
Well, the Joe Shear Classic, such a great race.
Yeah.
And a couple of elements that are a little bit different. So it's not just a cut-down version of the Tuesday. I would encourage folks to look for a couple of things that are a touch different.
Sounds great. A teaser out of Bill Holland for this Saturday's TV show. Bill, thanks for being part of the program once again.
As always, thanks for the opportunity.
And if he has a different voice next week, that's okay with us too. It's okay. Totally fine. Hey, we had a great show tonight. Thanks a lot for our guests. How about a big hand, everybody, for our guests for being on the show. Bill Holland was here tonight. Bill Weinug from Plymouth was here. Kurt Davis was here. We got Marilyn, me, and John Jeffords here. We also had a great time with Lily and Lance Fossbender. What a great show we had tonight. And Monster Jam Cam, too. And Dean Strom. What a great program. We want to thank you for being part of it. I want to thank our great crew, Dave Schmalzer, Matt Rapina, Greg Lapine, Sam Trado, Dean Strom, Sherry Prague, Mark Goodman, Bruce Blodgett, Faye Hendricks for all they do to help us with the program. Looking forward to seeing you next Tuesday here at Paulie's. This coming Saturday, share with your friends, CW18 Milwaukee for the Racing Roundup TV show at 11:30 a.m. And remember, set your DVRs, support your local racing, and have at it, racers.
We hope you enjoyed tonight's show. Remember to tell your friends and watch our 30-minute TV show on Milwaukee's CW18 this Saturday morning at 11:30. Like our show on Facebook, follow and interact with us on X and Instagram at Racing Roundup. Join the racing crowd at our live show and win prizes. For our latest show schedule and to watch all of our shows on demand, visit our website, RacingRoundupShow.com. We are delivering fresh content every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Central. Until next time, race fans, on behalf of our entire crew, this is Dean Strom reminding you to support your local racetracks, set your DVRs, have at it, racers.